I'm going to try and give another simul here, and I'm going to start accepting boards when 10 are started. Challenges go off, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so I can't play more than 10. 10's probably too many, but I'm going to give it a try. I want to accommodate everybody. Okay, I want to accommodate everybody, but I can only do what I can do. I'll just accept them here one at a time. There's a game. Okay, so anyways, I'll accept him, make a move. Okay, here's another one. Let's see. Just taking them in the order they are appearing here in the queue. Okay, so let's see. That's 4 games. There's another one. There's the 5th one. 1, 3, 4, 5. I already started one with him. Okay, so let's see. Knight F3. Okay, there's not much happening here in the beginning of this video. Okay, I don't have time to talk to you. Game aborted. Okay, don't get your games aborted, guys. You're gonna have to move. Okay. I thought I accepted this guy. Come on, guys. Answer. Play. Okay, so let's see. What else? Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think I can make some moves in some of these. Okay, you don't play white. No, you don't play white. Okay, I play white. Okay, game aborted. Okay. Okay, let's see. How many games do I have going? I'm going to start moving in some of these. Okay, I don't want to get behind on the clock. Okay, I'm going to shut off challenges here in a minute. Let's get some moves played and see where this all goes. Okay, now I got it right. Okay, you got it right. So let's see. Let me make some moves here. A little confusing here in the beginning until I shut off challenges. I don't know how many games I have going. I'm just going to play some moves here and get caught up. Okay, what's he doing? Okay, I just got to make some moves here. I don't know how many games I have going. I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, so let's see. No, you don't get white. Sorry. Okay, we're about to shut off challenges here unless you guys can get this thing right. Okay, so let's see. I'll castle. Okay, what is this doing here with me black? Okay, that game's over with. Game aborted. Thought I already accepted Adam Plenty. Okay, I don't want this thing on there. How do I get rid of this board? I forgot how. I'll figure it out. Let's see. There's a way to get rid of this, and I don't remember. Let's see. Dang it. Disable chat. No, I don't want that. Click this. What do I click? Okay, somebody else. Okay, it's not 60-0. It's 60-30. Okay, how do I get rid of this stupid board here? I forgot how to get rid of it. Let's see, no. Okay, must be friends to do that. How do I get rid of this board? There, wait. There it goes. Okay, just drag it. Okay. Okay, let me go to chat. Okay, I'm just... Okay. I don't even know how many games I have going on. Okay, Knight BD2. Okay. Okay, I'm going to mix things up here and go off my normal beaten path. Can I do the center fork trick here? I lose the tempo. Knight takes, let's see, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d4. I can get a tempo on that bishop soon enough. Is he threatening e4? Pawn takes. No, I'm just going to do it. Knight takes e4, or e5. Knight takes e5, followed by d5. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm still taking challenges, but you're going to have to get the right time control. Last call. Oh, don't do this to me. Let's see. Last call. Okay, cap locks are on. So let's get rid of cap locks. Okay, what's he doing? He's planning to play. I don't mind the white attack against the king. I'm going to set up my own pawn storm here. Okay, let's try to... Okay, symmetrical English. Okay. I don't know how many games I have going, but I'm going to shut off challenges here shortly. Last call. Okay, fine. Just go ahead and take my bishop. Okay, let's see what's happening here. He wants to play e4, so we stop it. Okay, now I've got the bishop pair, and I've castled. Okay. Okay, last call. It's too late, baby. If you didn't challenge me the right way, you don't get to play me. Challenges from no one. Nobody. Okay. What is this thing doing back in the way of my screen? Go away. Okay. I don't know how many games I have, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so what's happened here? Black has spent some time trading off my fianchetto bishop and wants to start an attack. The best way to wing attack is to expand in the center, strike in the center. So I don't mind him playing h4. Let's see, h4. I'll just let him take, and if he wants to shove by, that's fine. But the way to handle these positions is to play in a wing attack, is to play in the center. Okay, so let's see, queen d3. Okay, let's see what other games I have. I got a castle here. Adam Plenty played bishop f4, so I castle. Okay, now how many more games do I have? Trying to navigate this the correct way. I don't know how many games I have going. Basically, I just don't want to get in a situation where I'm running behind on time, like I did in the other one, and all of a sudden all these games went away. So now knight takes e4. Okay, so first order business. Let's put some pressure on d5 here. I think bishop g5. It develops a piece, and it pins a knight, and it threatens to double his pawns because d5 will fall. Okay, so bishop g5. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, normal King's Indian. Attack. Okay, just follow through with the procedure here. Okay, so I can go ahead and safely double his pawns here. Matter of fact, I'll do it. Let's see. I got the bishop here. I hate to give it up so quickly, but at the same time, I get development here. I get some good squares from... Question 2 is, if I leave it on, how do I make progress? Let's see, knight c3 is a developing move. Knight c3, he can play c6, he can do that anyway. Then I'm ready for e4. Does this knight have a useful square to go to? The best he can try to concoct is something on the a7 g1 diagonal with this queen on b6. Let's see. Of course, if I go molest bother his pawn structure a little bit, that could be effective. I'm just going to take it. Okay, let's see. Now he takes. Okay, fine. Okay, let's see what's happening in this game. Rook b8 is a little slow. Okay, so let's see. I think I can transpose to some lines where I can get c5 in. It's a little sideline I picked up if he plays a6. Okay, here comes the pawn storm. I'm not the least bit worried about the pawn storm. I just go about and continue my development. If he plays g4, then that'll go to h4. It's fine. I need to play. I have the f5 square I would like to get a knight onto, and the only way to do that is to start maneuvering. So knight c4, and then we plan knight e3 and knight f5. Okay, so let's see. My move here, spending some time, losing some time. Okay, now I got to play knight c3 to attack. Now he should be playing c6. He might play bishop e6. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm not worried in the least about h4. I'm not worried about him taking. I'll take on g3. I'll take back with my f pawn. And even though he gets a check, his attack runs out of steam. So knight going to e3 also keeps an eye on g2, and it hits both f5 and d5. Okay, b6. I say stopping my move, intended move c5. But the pawn structure here can be favorable for white. He's supposed to be breaking with d5. What I need to do is complete my development, and I'm going to do it by way of playing pawn e4. I don't mind bishop g4 because I play f3 and I have a very solid pawn structure there. Okay, so e4 is the move here. Okay, good. He took. Now I have to take back with this. If I take with the h pawn, queen h3 and queen h1 mate. So I take with the f pawn, and this is fine. Okay, knight f3. Running low on time here. Navid Sam. Okay, he's attacking my rook. All right. Am I worried about that? Not necessarily. Let's see. I can put the rook on. If I put the rook on f1, it runs into trouble on e3. If I put it on f4, he gets a check. But I'm fine with that. I can block it with d4. And if he gobbles on b2, I take on d5. So rook f4 is the move here. Okay. Now I continue with my plan of solidifying my center. Black's supposed to be breaking with b5 here, and then he can force in a d5 break. So my handling of this system, I quite familiar with this. I go for this pawn structure, and the key is the dark squared bishop. I'm going to have a really nice dark squared bishop. And so I play f3 here, and then now the bishop will find a home on e3, and I'll just solidify my position ever so carefully. Okay, let's see. Bishop g4 right here. Okay, so knight c3, just going to go through with the normal routine. See, I'm starting to lose some time on some of these games. I've got to be careful and make sure I find all my games and don't ignore one. Okay, it's his move here. Okay, knight d7. So he understands the idea to bring a knight to c5 here. But that's okay. He might go to e5. So the only question is, where do I? If he goes to e5, yeah, I'll play bishop e3 here. Knight e5, queen e2, then rook c1 and b3, and I've got everything I want. And knight c5, I still play queen e2. And no, I have to play queen c2 in that case. I don't want double pawns, but that would get rid of his good bishop. So anyway, figure out from where we're going. Okay, knight bd2. Let's see, it's my move. No, it's his move here. Okay, he gave the check. Now, I have to, well, pretty much have to play d4 here. Okay. Now let's see, next game. Okay, he's breaking a little too early here. Let's see. e4 takes. Knight g4. e3. Let's see, what if I play knight g4 right away? h6. Takes, pawn takes. Okay, it's one of these little tricks here. Let's see. I can play knight d1, knight e1 here, and don't mind e3. Let's see, takes, pawn takes, knight g4, e3. Knight g4 right away. He plays h6. Okay, it's a slight complication in this line. Let's see, takes. Oh, darn. Let's see. It's always a dilemma which way to do this. I've played knight e1 in similar positions. And then I'm threatening the pawn on e4. My pawn, and yeah, I think that's the right move. Knight e1. Wait a minute. Now he has knight d4. Knight e1, knight d4. Could be a little embarrassing. Okay, I've got to take, and I can survive this. Okay. It's still his move there. It's his move. Queen c7. Okay, that allows me to gain a tempo. Knight d5 threatens e7, threatens his queen. If he takes, I take back with a pawn. b2 falls. I think the key here is to play b3 right now. Yeah, and then I'll follow it up with rook ac1. Okay, that one's done. What do I have on this side for games? No games over there. Okay, still his move. He took with the knight. That's no good. He's got to take with the pawn. Now let's see. If I take, and the idea is he wants to get e3, and I can exchange queens for what it's worth, and then have some pressure on him. Okay, knight takes. Okay, now he played c6. Okay, so well, I'll play e4 here and open things up. Let's see, e4, queen takes b2. Where does my knight go? Knight a4, queen a3 on the knight again. See, e4. I'm going to come back to this one. What time do I have? Let's see. Okay, now I think I need to. Well, I don't need to trade queens. That develops his rook. I can play knight g5 here. Knight g5. I'm going to win. You know, he can see knight g5. Queen takes rook, take bishop, take rook back on the bishop, and is pinned. If can't go to f3, so knight g5. He doesn't have time for e3, an interference move, because I just take it. I'll let him trade on d1 if that's what he wants, develop my rook. So knight g4 puts the question to his e4 pawn, and I can cover e2 easily enough. Okay, knight g4. What's happening here? Rook a1. Okay, so now I play rook ac1. Now the knight is no longer pinned, and I'm ready for knight d5. Okay, he did move. There's the check. It's a harmless check. Okay, let's see. c6. I said I'd come back to that game. What have I got here? Adam Plenty has castled. Okay, let's see. Takes with a pawn on the bishop. I get a tempo on his bishop. If he goes to h3, that's fine. I don't mind that. Okay, what's happening here? He's castled. Oh, 45 minutes. Okay, knight bd2. Okay, yeah, see, I'm forgetting about some of these games. There's too many games sometimes. Okay, I gotta get back here and move. Okay, I don't have to give up the pawn on b3. On b2, I can also play. Just play b3, and I'm getting ready to break with e4. That might be discretion is the better part of valor. If he plays queen b4, I bring my queen up to d3 and secure the knight. And okay, just slow play this. Okay, so b3. Now, I think I just went a pawn. Knight takes e4. Yeah, knight takes e4. What does he do? Okay, knight takes e4, wins a pawn. Okay, what else do I have? Let's see. Do I have any games on this window? No, I don't. Okay, so let's see. a6, that's a slow move. He's got problems on his queenside pawns. He's kind of hedgehogging it here. Okay, knight d5. The hedgehog is a system. Just missing is the pawn to e6. Okay, knight d5. Attacks his queen. Threatens to take on e7 check. He takes with the bishop. I take back with the c pawn. Now his queen's tempoed, and I'm on the open file. And a6 and b6 are both targets. Eventually he will play knight c5, but I might have ways to kick that knight out. We'll see. This at least picks up the bishop pair, and then I can activate my light squared bishop here. That'll be the plan. Okay, so knight d5. Okay, this game it's his move. That game it's his move. Good. Let's keep it their move. Knight e3. He can't do that, or he can, but okay. I don't care if he takes my bishop. I'm developing my pieces. Okay, so queen d3. Battens down the hatches. Okay, so queen d3. He took with that pawn is or the bishop is expected. Not my move. Not my move. He did take the bishop. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so basically I've got everything but my queen rook developed, and he hasn't castled. He's probably going to try to castle long. I'm on his f pawn. What's he going to do? Undevelop his queen with queen d8. I'm going to be swinging my stuff over to the king side here in a hurry and getting a nice game. Okay, now he's played that, which gives me a nice hole on e5. It also deactivates his bishop. His bishop is kind of a tall pawn. Knight a5 with the idea of knight c5. I have a queen check for what it's worth, which will win the pawn. Let's see, queen e3 check. If he plays bishop e6, the bishop is no longer guarding the pawn. I win it. Rook takes. He castles. Now my rook's under attack, and he gains a tempo because I have to get it out of there. I mean that f pawn is doomed in the long run. I can surround it and win it easily enough. Development is more important here. Knight a4. Where can he put his queen? He can put it on c7. Okay, knight a5. Then I stop and check with the queen. And if he blocks with the bishop, then knight c5, putting more pressure. Then the knight's ready to hop back to d3. So knight a5 is the move here. Okay. Now it's time to develop. Let's see. Well, I can play bishop g5, which threatens a check. I can take on d1 and give a check on f6. Let's see. Queen takes d8 check. Rook takes d8. I can also then play bishop g5, attacking his rook. And then if he plays bishop e7, I play knight check. And if he takes with the bishop, I take with my bishop, and I was forking his rooks. There's some indirect pressure on c2 here. I don't care so much if I drop that pawn back. That's not all that important. Let's see. Bishop g5 immediately attacks his queen and threatens a check here. Queen takes, develops my queen's rook. Rook takes here. The threat of the check is back. His rook's not developed. He can't castle. If he plays bishop takes e4, I take his queen. So bishop g5 is the move. Okay, bishop g5. Okay, there's now. Okay, I've achieved quite a bit here. The main thing is his pawns on the queen side are targets. Okay, for what it's worth, I have the bishop pair. Knight c5 is coming. I don't want him to get that move in. Now his alternative, I can play b4. His alternative then is to try to play b5, knight e5, and knight c4, and occupy that square. Okay, with his knight, which case I'll have to swing my bishop over, so I've got to do this economically. Of course, if I let him come to c5, then I can kick him out with b4 after my queen moves. Suppose, okay, what are my alternatives here? If I play bishop f1, that attempts to activate the bishop, then knight c5, I can eliminate it, bishop takes, and then pick up the pawn on a6. He trades, puts his rook on a1, and looks like he's going to get his pawn back. Okay, so I've got to activate this bishop on g2. That's the key. So what I'll do is on bishop f1, knight c5, I'll play queen d2 and consider moving the queen to f2 and then kicking him out and trying to win that pawn. Meanwhile, I've got the pressure on the file, but f3 is safe and secure, so the key now is to activate this light squared bishop since I have one. Okay, that move's decided. Watch my time. I got to make sure I don't fall into time trouble. He's castled. Okay, now this gives me a decent square for my knight. f5. Let's see, knight f5. Or do I want to go to d5 with that knight? Knight d5. Or do I want to just let it sit? Suppose... decisions. Suppose I play b4. That takes away the check from him. Or the bishop getting to that diagonal. Maybe I can get the knight on f3 to f5. Maybe he'll play something like g4. I think b4 is the move here. Okay, b4. Okay, he played b5. Okay, now he does get... if he plays knight c5 at some point now, he's going to lose the pawn directly. He gets opposite color bishops, but that doesn't matter. Now, what's happening here? Okay, I'll just answer this chat. Okay, anyway, let's see. I have rook c6 at some point, but not yet. There's a fork on e5. Let's see. If I play b4 right away, I give up c4, so there's no need to rush a pawn move. Do I want to double? Well, one thing about doubling is that maybe he'll go try to swap rooks. That's one idea of sticking the bishop back on h3 now. Since he shut me off, I'll put the bishop on h3. This has indirect control on c8. And it also, I'll just trade off his knight and give back the bishop pair, and my bishop will be the better piece in the ending. I could be doing that. So bishop h3 is the move here. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Queen d4. That just going to lose here, I think. Let's see. Knight f6 check. He's going to walk into a discovery here in a second. I could also play bishop f6. No, that's no good. Knight f6 check. King d8 or king e7. King, you know, I'm just going to get discovered checks galore. Let's see. Then take the knight on c6. And I'll just check him. Let him figure out what's going on. Okay, I get this thing out of here. I don't want this board in my face. Please leave. Wait, why is this game not going? Why haven't I seen? Maybe I have to play that game. Okay, somehow I've ignored a game. I haven't found it. Okay, just develop. Too many games. Okay, now bishop g4, queen c2. Okay, now but Sam brought his queen back. Now we give a check. Zola, what's happening here? It's still his move. Okay, it's still his move. How many games down here I'm missing? Still his. Okay, his move. He's in check. Okay, so he's going to trade queens. That's fine with me. He's got a bad bishop. I've got a good knight. Queen takes. And then drop my knight in to c5. Keeping his... Now he got e5 in mind. I've got a great outpost for that knight on either e5 or f4. Okay, so let's see. Don't play blitz against me now. How do I want to do this? I have a double check. Doesn't really get me much. How do I just take his knight off? Removing the defender. Bishop takes. He needs to take. Developing my queen takes. And then I give my discover check. Okay, so bishop takes c6. Okay, bishop takes c6. Okay, apparently I have a game going. I don't know why it's not showing up in the window. Knight f3. Or is this game aborted? Wait, what happened here? What's this saying? It says he won, game abandoned. I didn't abandon this game. Okay, fine. F6, okay. This is fine, like I say. Now it's basically an endgame squeeze. How is he challenging me? Okay, I'll accept it. The game... No, you don't play white. You don't play white. I play white. Okay. Well, let's see. I think you're losing your queen. Knight e4 check. Okay. Let's see what's happening in this game. See, some of these games I'm starting to run behind on time already. Too many games. Okay. Is it my move? No, it's his move. Okay. Knight f6. Okay. So let's pressure e5. Rook e1. Okay, this game doesn't exist. You don't have white. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Knight there. Okay. Let's start shoving pawns. My turn to attack. Oh wait. I don't have to shove pawns yet. I can play knight d5. That attacks a pawn. Yeah, this is good. Knight d5. Okay. Okay, now he can't get a rook to c8. So I just bring the queen back to e2. Okay, there goes your queen. Sorry. Okay, let's see. f6. He's keeping me out of f5, but that's all right. I mean, he's keeping me out of e5, but the rook. Okay, basically, white's got a winning position here. The knight's going to outpost itself on f4, and then I start working on his weak pawns. His bishop gets little to no mobility, so the first step is tie his rook down to guarding h7. Okay, that's the winning maneuver here. Okay, queen e2, it's his move. Okay, it's his move. Okay, it's his move. It's his move. What do I have over here? Jam. It's his move. Add him plenty. Okay. Locking up the center. Let's see. How do I want to handle this? Let's see. Do I take with the knight? Take with the queen. He's on d3. No, I'm fine here. I'll just lock up the center, and I don't mind knight b4. Okay, queen c2. That's happening here. Knight d5. Do I have more games down here? I don't know. Jam is moved. Okay, so now e4. I don't even know how many games I have going on. Okay, so strategically, this is an interesting ending. Black's got a very bad bishop, and he pretty much should sack that pawn on f4, because if he doesn't, I will have the blockade set up. Knight goes to f4, and he doesn't have much at all. Let's see, Adam Plenty, he took. That helps me a little bit, I think. Okay, knight takes is the correct way to go. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, I've got two bishops loose. Yeah, I'll just go take this. Okay. See, there's a tactic. King takes, queen d4 check, picks up the other rook. And, okay, not my move here. Do I have any games down here? I don't know how I get an abandoned game out of this. I didn't abandon that game. It never appeared in my window. I just had that goofy extra board. Okay, so now knight d7. Do I want to get rid of that critter? Bishop takes, rook c6. Bishop takes d7, rook takes, rook c6. He opposes rooks. I swing the other rook over. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of this bishop once and for all. We don't need it. Okay, that's gone. Okay, now good. I've got the blockade. Okay, knight f4. Look at that wonderful knight. He's not getting rid of it. That's an outpost, ladies and gentlemen. Something you strive for in chess. Okay, now I've got to coordinate the rest of this game, but this is the start. Okay, so now we go molest his pawn on a6. Okay, gotta watch my time. Okay, what's happening here? It's his move. Glad to see someone's taking more time than me. Okay, bishop d7. Now, okay, now the winning maneuvers. Essentially, I just slowly improve my position here and there, and I'm going to start by just getting some pawns on dark squares. That's the opposite color of his bishop. Okay, I'm just going to slow play this. There's no hurry. He can't generate any counterplay. If he plays okay, c3. If he plays a5, that might be his best shot. I can play a4, and I don't like the pawn on a light square, but can't always get what you want. I can also try to break with c4 at some point. That'll get a rook active. C4 threatens to take a pawn. So let's see, if I play rook c1, he knows I'm trying to do it. c4, pawn takes, pawn takes. Now d4 is not a weakness, but it might give his bishop some mobility. Now we're going to slow play this to death. Okay, there's no hurry. You have an advantage. There's no need to rush things. Okay, now, like I said, I've got an advantage here. Now I want to triple on the c file and leave his pawns weak on the queen side. Okay, so I just play there. Now let's see what's happening here. Okay, did come up. He guards his pawn. Is he threatening anything I should worry about? Knight takes h2. How about if I just offer him a queen trade here? If I offer him a queen trade, either has to back the queen up or exchange, and I kick him out. And yeah, I'm just going to offer queen trade, grind this game out. Okay, he's moving too quick. Now, voila, we are going to triple on the c file. Will queen h3 do anything for him? Do I need to make a preventative maintenance move with king g2 first? Can't hurt. Let's just do it and get it done. Okay. Now we check here. Okay. He's not threatening on e2, but he's threatening to put his rook on e3. So we just batten down the hatches. King f2 keeps him out. And now he wants to double his rooks on the e file and get his rook to e3. Okay, fine. That shouldn't bother me in the least. Now, how do I activate my rook? Let's see. Got to think of the ideal positions here. Got to induce some weaknesses on the weaknesses in the pawns on the queen side because I need a second weakness. Well, I've got two weaknesses: f5 and f5 and f5 and f6. But let's see. Get the knight, and it's a permanent outpost, but maybe the knight needs a new outpost. Let's see. c4, there's no hurry. I just spent a tempo going to c3. Where's his rook go to? e4, he can have that square. I don't mind that. How about if I play a4 here, inducing a5, and I can play b4. I start trying to set up an outside pass pawn. Okay, we'll go that route. a4. And he plays blitz. You can't play blitz against me. Okay, so now if I play b4, if he's not careful, I'm going to get some weak square on him. b4. Okay. Here, what's happening here? He retreated his queen. Okay, what's he threatening? He's threatening a pawn on e4. Do I need to worry about that? Well, I guess. How about if I just guard it with rook e1? It seems to work. Okay. Now we triple. There was no hurry. I'm threatening to get on the 7th rank, get behind his pawns. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, my move. Queen takes. Rook. I can win my bishop, but I don't mind that. I have a rook and a queen for 2 bishops. That's pretty good advantage. Okay, let's see. You can't play rook e3. What's his trick? I just take it. What's he do? Mercy. Sorry. Okay. It was an interesting game. Now with Sam. White 1. Okay, so gotta make sure I don't... Okay, I don't mind knight b5. This gives me... Normally I'd be playing back to b1, but he let my knight out of d2. So I'm going to kick his knight back out. Where do I want my queen? I'll keep it on e2. Okay, so bishop e6. I watch my time here. Okay, so now we just follow the themes here. We play rook e1, have a little pressure on e5. Okay, so let's see what's happening down here. Do I have any games down here? Okay, we can get rid of this, close this Navitsam window. We don't need this, empty chat. Okay, which game is this? Navitsam, we want to close that one. Okay, get back to another game. Bishop f8. Okay, so now rook here, rook takes, queen takes, queen takes, queen takes. I'm on the open file. Then I start marching my king over to the queen side. Or do I want to induce a weakness from behind? Let's see. Rook c8 is an alternative. Rook c8. He can take, I can take with the queen. Now I'm on the back rank and he's pinned. And I'll just play rook c7. I think that they're probably both good, but just build up a nice position here. Okay, so he stops and punts with king b8. Okay. Now, question. Do I have any kind of sacrifice of my own on g5? Probably not. Let's just start shoving my pawns, give him something to think about. Maybe I'll get him to induce create a weakness of his own. Okay, he took... I got to get my queen out of there. I have to finish my development too. I don't have to get the queen out of there. There's a free pawn on h7. Who cares about that? Although it does restrict his king a little bit. Let's just shove a pawn. c4. Okay. Okay, good. He did create a weakness. He created his own weakness. He doesn't have to do that. This just gives me lines of play. Okay. Do I push? Push. He goes back. Or do I take and open up the line? b5. Knight e7. b6. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. I sack a pawn with get a check. He's made the weakness. I don't want his knight getting into c4. That's one reason for not taking on a5. Let's see. D. Of course, I don't mind if he trades his knight for my bishop. He is on b4. I have to make some kind of a move here. Let's see. I don't mind playing bishop e3 at some point, letting him trade this knight off because it'll return the threat here. But I've got to open up some lines. See, pawn takes, knight e5, bishop e3, knight c4. But I've got the open file now. Yeah, that's the way to do it. We've got to open up some lines. Okay, let's see. That's my move here. 31 minutes. Got to watch my time. I've won one game. I've lost one on time, which I never had a board for, unless it was that mini board. Okay, so he's getting his king to safety. Well, it's with check. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, let's see. Rook e1. Any more games down here? Adam plenty. King b8. Okay, now I've got to start my pawn storm. So the way to do it is to gain tempos. A3. Okay, do I have any more games down here? No. Okay, king e8. Okay, let's see. E4 takes, bishop. See, e4, bishop takes, rook e1, d5 takes. And I've opened up a lot of lines. Got to get some lines open here. That way I can get a checkmate. Okay, what's happening here? Rook e1, it's his move. I have 34 minutes left. Okay. Now, like I say, did I have a free pawn sitting there on e5? Son of a gun, I did. Okay. Well, things happen. This is okay. I'll just play b4. Threaten to win the pawn all over again. Okay. Anyway, queen e7. So, let's see. If I take on d5, he's covering. He can take with the bishop and be covering it. Let's play knight g5 here. No, knight g5. He gets knight takes e4. And I take with the g knight, or either knight actually. And I should be fine. Let's see. Knight g5 is the move here. Let's see. Just too tactical to try to. Well, I did it. Too funny. Mouse slip. Okay, accept friends. I accept all friends. Got a little careless there. Okay, so now we're going to open him up. Open up his king side. He's weakened his king position, helping my attack. Okay, he took the pawn. Now I pin his bishop. Like I said, I've got to open up some lines here. Okay, he did check. I didn't think he could do that. Okay, like I say, I don't mind giving up the bishop pair here. Rook bishop e3. What if he plays rook takes d5? Well, I take his rook. Okay, so now I've got the proverbial rook on the 7th, and a slightly better bishop. Okay, let's see. So, like I say, this opens up lines. What's happening with jam? Well, I didn't mean to take on e5, but I did. I guess I get enough tactics down there that I can do something. Okay, let's see. Now knight takes e4. And I don't care if he takes my pawn on b5 because, well, actually, that opens up lines. His knight's out of play. Yeah, I'm just going to save the pawn. Open up lines. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, let's see. Now, as I say, let's get these critters active. Rook c1. We're planning to try to checkmate him here. Okay, so I've got some tactics here. I guess there's a pin. I can get it back. It's just funny that I did that, looking at the squares. Okay, well, thank you. I guess I win the pawn. Knight takes e5. How many games do I have down here? Okay, a4. Don't mind that so much. Okay. How to win this position. I can accept the bad pawn on b4 just to keep the position tied up. Does my king have an entry square? Yeah, my king has an entry square now on b4, so bring the king over. That's the method. Okay, go into bishop ending if we can. Okay, he attacked my rook. I saw this, I didn't say it. I'm saying basically I'm going to play rook c7, and he can take my rook, but I take his king because his bishop no longer secures e7. Okay, so what's happening? It's his move. It's his move. Good, let's make it their move. Okay, threatening a mate. It's his move. What's happening down here? Okay, he guarded things. Okay, so now we want to try to set up some kind of a oh wow, there's some line opening here. Knight c6, give back the pawn. Knight c6, knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. I can play e5. Now my bishop's active. Of course, he can then block with knight d5. I'm just going to play knight c4 and safe play it. I've won a pawn and I have an attack and he doesn't. Okay, so let's see. He did take there. It was interesting to take on d5 with his rook, but he didn't. Okay, so my king's got a nuisance pin. I've given him the bishop back to c5, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, I believe it's checkmate now. Isn't this mate? Looks like mate to me. Thanks for the game. Okay. That was against Pack G45. I can close that one. Okay. Now getting... Maybe I only had 6 games going. Okay. Okay, rook takes. Adam Plenty. Wow. Okay. Do I want to trade bishops or offer a bishop trade? Give up the exchange. Let's see. Bishop f4 threatens knight takes b. No, it doesn't threaten knight takes b6. Now I'll just get my development complete. It's take away another possible defender of his king for his king. Bishop d2. Okay. Now I can, as I say, I can win the piece back. Uh, oh, I can't do it that way. I have to do it this way. I guess I don't win the piece back. Okay, so what did he get? He got two pieces off me. He's threatening d3, right? Right? Okay, so fine. Uh, knight to e4. Now if he plays knight takes d3, queen takes d3, he's crawling all over e4. He's got a lot of critters on it. So let's see. Bishop e4. And play f4. He gets queen c5 check in. I got two pawns for the piece, for what it's worth, but he's threatening to get one back. How much time? Let me look at some of these other games, see how much time I have left. Okay, he wants a pass pawn. Well, fine, you can have a pass pawn. I'll take it and get developed. Let's see. How if I just put a rook on the c file and threaten to win a pawn? That's one way to handle this. Okay, now, as I say, if he plays rook a8, I may play rook a7. Okay, so where's he going? How about if we check him? Just for the sake of checking him. Okay, now. Okay, counterplay time. I need to attack him. How can I do that? With rook b1, it plays knight c4, and then I have to bring the rook back. What if I play knight d2 here and stop him from playing knight c4? Then my knight gets in the way of the queen. Queen wants to come over, but knight c4 keeps me out. Of course, he can't keep a knight in on c4 too easily. Eventually, I can force it out of there. Okay, rook b1. Okay, rook b1. What have I got here? Okay, I got 29 minutes. He's threatening d3. If I play f4, queen c5 check. Okay, how am I going to do this? Bishop e4 seems to be the only move. If he takes it, I take back with my pawn. Okay. Well, mouse slip on this one, but I don't care. Did I drop a rook? Yeah, well. Said I was thinking about giving up the exchange anyway. I have an attack. Okay, let's see. What else do I have left? Okay, I've moved here. He's moved. Now we got to get the king closer. King there. King e2, rook e8. Maybe I want to put it on e3. King e3, rook a8. I've got my entry point b4. Just get the king over. Okay. And he takes advantage of a pin. But I'm not too worried about that because I'll just redeploy the queen. Gets over here to the queen side where it wants to be. Okay, queen d1. Okay, good. He's letting my king get closer. King d3. How many games do I have going? I have 4 going on. I guess I didn't start that many. 5 is about my limit. Rook b5, knight c4, rook e1, okay, rook b5, okay, king e8, he wants to play king d8 next. Okay, it's time to do just a little bit here of something, of what I'm not sure yet. If king c3, king d8, rook a7, rook c8 check, king comes back to b2. I can't go up to b4 yet, but I'll get there. And then on a8 or a7, I'm threatening to stick it on b4, and he can't defend it. So king c3 is the answer here. King c3, rook a8, rook 8, or just then king b2 and shut him off. Rook 8, rook check, king back to c2. Where does his rook go? It doesn't. Okay, I've got to get my king into the game here. Let's see. Okay, king c3. Okay, let's see what's happening in this game. Okay, now we just ignore that knight. It's threatening a check. Big deal. It's threatening my queen. I mean, if I move my queen, he has a check, but big deal. Here, for what it's worth, I threatened to bag a pawn. Let him worry about that. Yeah, this knight there. Okay, what have I done wrong? Okay, this game I'm trying to salvage. Okay, so I got 2 pawns for the piece because of whoopsie with the mousey. Okay, now my rook just isn't well placed on c4 or e3. I've got to get him maneuvered a little bit. Outpost for my knight. He's just not going to let me get into f5. If I play rook e1, he could play rook d3. Do I need to worry about that? Might have to. Let's see. So it's a complicated game. I have 40 minutes left. Let me make sure I'm not in trouble on these other games. I might save this one. Okay, now rook a7. You know, I can even bring my king up to b4 on a check. He can't penetrate on the last rank because he's going to drop his bishop. Okay, I think I have 4 games left. And that's all I have. I've got 23 minutes in this game, 16 here. Oh my God. Time's going. He's playing too quick. Okay, 16 minutes there. I have 23 minutes there. I have 39 minutes there. Yeah, I've got plenty of time there. Let's see. Okay, he tries that. Where's he going with the bishop? He wants to check me on d2. Um, suppose I just shut his bishop off. I'll just do that. Okay, 4 games left. Okay, I'm not going to move there yet. Okay, it's his move. It's his move. Okay. And he played there. Okay, so here's where we can take advantage of things and just not let that bishop get active. Because now his bishop's no longer on the back rank. So I might have to put my king on b2 if he checks me. If I play f5, he plays g4, so I'll play bishop e3 here. Let him trade. Let him trade a set of pawns. Okay, so now I've managed to save my pawn for what it's worth. Now what else can I salvage out of this? Okay, e4 is still a little bit loose, but not a great deal loose. I've got a nice pawn center. If I play, I need to keep a solid pawn center and complete my development. Okay, so, oh wait, I can't move that knight. F3 is hanging. Don't tell me I did that! Second mouse slip! Okay, second mouse slip. First was on knight e5. Okay, no big deal. Okay, it's all documented. Mouse slip. Okay, let's see. He's willing to give me a pawn back. But I want his king. Let's see. I'm just going to shove this pawn up, make a demonstration here. Okay. I'm going to activate my game here real quick. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. B6. Did I ever move here? No, I didn't. Okay. Of course, one interesting idea is to play c4, sacrifice the pawn. Okay, take a draw. Fine. Let's see. Okay, there's the check. Where's he going with that critter? I don't know. How if I just come up and attack it? What's he going to play? Queen g4 next? Okay, brought his bishop back. And now let's just go for Zugzwang. Put the pawns on the white squares. Okay. This game's over. That game's over. Okay, I'm down to 3 games. I have to move against Zola. Let's see. I've been sitting on this one for a while. Dang. One way to keep him out of out of c4 is put my queen on a2. Why didn't I see that earlier? Okay, there it is. Now he gets a check on d1. Is that worth anything? Probably not. Okay, so I made my move there. He does play queen g4. Mercy. Okay. Gosh, I can practically win a piece with bishop f3. He gets queen h3. I take his knight. He takes my pawn with check. Little nuisance check. Don't really care about the piece. What's he threatening? Nothing. Let's see. Of course, I can even play h3 here and chase his queen out. That's another way to do it. h3 attacks his queen. If queen h5, I just play g4. He's going to drop his piece. Okay, that's done. Okay, so now check. I can bring my king up to b4 because if he goes to back rank, he drops his bishop. So now we threaten his pawn. Okay, did he move yet? He did check. Okay, so like I say, that, ooh, gotta be careful here. Wow. No, I can't interpose. I can't move my king up. There's tricks. Give king up. Let's see, king up to g2. What does he do? Queen h3 check. And then king there. He can take on h2. I take back and he hurdles my queen. So I've kept him out of c4. That was the important thing. So now I can bring the rook back. And if he goes to d3, that's not all that important. Okay, so rook. Of course, he can. Rook takes, knight takes. He can then play knight c4, but I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I'm not going to take it. I'll just play rook e1 here, and I'm fine. Okay, so how can I just take the pawn here? He wants to activate his rook. How about if we don't? How about if we just swing this rook back to a2? That'll drive him nuts. Rook a2. Let him figure out what I'm trying to do. See, I'm keeping you out. I'm in no hurry. Okay. Oh, I missed that. Too funny. Okay. Well, king takes, he takes my bishop. How could I miss this move? My goodness. I'm a potzer. Okay. King takes, queen takes. Yeah. Just let him eat some pawns. Okay, fine. Okay, what's he doing? He checked. I gotta take here. Okay, so where's he going? Any place I should worry about? Well, how about if I just go threaten to, let's see. Rook checks. It just repeats. That does mean nothing. I want to trade rooks. How do I trade rooks? Not sure how to trade rooks. Of course, I can play rook check. He'll just put his king back. Let's go give him something to worry about over here. Rook g2. Okay. Now I got to come back. Next we're going to try to attack his king. I'm just a silly move. Okay. He came there. Now he's on my knight. Not so much worried about the knight. The knight can be secured in a number of ways. Let's see. How am I down a pawn here? Oh, he took it. Okay. I didn't see that was hanging. Oh, well. We lose pawns here and there. Let's see. Queen f2. Threatens a bunch of checks. Guards the knight. Okay. Rook b8. Now we go pin his bishop. Okay. Do I have anything with rook takes b6 check? Probably not. Okay, I think bishop h6 does him in. He's going to lose the king and pawn ending. Bishop h6, king up. Rook takes, king takes b5. And he doesn't get anywhere. Okay, so bishop h6 does him in. It's his move there. It's his move there. Okay, rook takes. Did he grab a pawn? No, he didn't grab a pawn. He checked. Get my king out of danger. And now my b pawn will queen. Okay. He's a pawn snatcher. That's fine. Let him snatch. I'm a king snatcher. Okay, what do we want to do? How about if we just bring the king out of the way? Okay, so how do we want to do this? And just b4. Okay, his move. Nope. Everyone another pawn? My goodness, I'm just dropping pawns. Okay, L2 can play that game. I can take on f6. And he desperados on h2, but I get a check. Or two out of it. He takes on b5. I take on h1 with check. Let's do it. Queen takes f6. Invites him to mess things up. Where's he going to put his rook? d1? No, he can't go. Or d8? No, I can't go there. Let's see what he does. Okay, so this game's almost over. Is it my move over here? No, it's his move. Okay, h6. Sorry, but I'm gonna eat all your pawns here in a minute. And I'm gonna start right here. Okay, this one's about over. Check. Okay, so I'm gonna lay down a pawn. I gotta open up some lines at some point. Here they come. Go ahead, take my pawns. You want my pawns? Take them. They're yours. Okay. Now knight f3. Okay, he has a check on b1. I come up. Let's see. I gotta get things active here. Knight f3. Gotta play actively. I've got 31 minutes on that time. I got time when that's over. Okay, it's time for me to make a queen. I have 11 minutes left in this game. Okay. Knight f3. King. Okay, let's get a queen here. Okay. Time for me to try to find a mate. And the only way I want to do it is if I open up some lines. So there's one line opened up. You're still playing? That's fine. I'll just have to make a queen. Yeah, I'll just take that. You can't have any more pawns. Okay. He did do that. He's greedy. Okay, that gives me protection of my pawn on c3. So I got to switch to a blockading rule here. Okay, knight e1. Okay, time to, let's see. Knight takes, pawn takes. Let's see. Knight takes, pawn takes. Queen c6. Threatens mate on a8. He gets a spite check, and that's it. Okay. Okay, so now the trick here is counterplay. So let's see. If I put my queen on h7, I'm attacking his pawn on e4 and his pawn on c7, but then he can play queen e5. So let's see. I like my queen centralized. I have 30 minutes in that. Let me finish these other games off here. Queen. Okay, so Adam Plenty. I think you're checkmated, Adam. I don't see how you get out of this. Queen c6. You got a spite check on h2. I run to b3, and it's over. Okay. Yeah, he's going to play on. Okay, fine. Okay. Well, let's just take your last pawn. And now I got to administer a checkmate here. Okay. Well, let's just make a new queen. Make it simple. Okay, so it's my move there, and I have 28 minutes left. Okay, he's checking. There's a spite. He has one more spite check. And my next queen. Okay, now we just corral your king in here real quick. Okay, let's see. I don't know if it's the fastest mate, but I'll mate you on the A file. I don't think I have pre-move set, but this will get the game over with in a hurry. Checkmate. Okay, game over. Thank you for the game. Let's get rid of this. Down to 2 games. Adam Plenty. His clock is running, and my clock is running. I have 27 minutes left. Okay, counterplay. I need counterplay. I've got C3 covered. He's got a queen c5 check possibility. And if king f1, knight e3 check. It's time for counterplay. I need a pass pawn. And the only way I get a pass pawn is to push that. Maybe not the best, but it's certainly the trickiest. Okay. This one's just about over. He's faced with mate on a8, and all I can do is check me with his queen on c2. And if I take with my king, he can pin my queen, but that'll just leave me a piece ahead. I can take with the queen, and I'm sure I can find a new way to mate him. Okay, did he move here? No. I don't know why these yellow lights go on when it's not your move. Okay, we're basically down to two games. But as I say, I have to have a pass pawn here if I want any counterplay. Okay, I won this game. Okay, where was I? This game's that game's. I'm just down to this game. I can take a break. I do need a break. Okay, H4. Okay, uh, this is the only game left. I'm going to use the restroom. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes into the exhibition, so I can't unfortunately pause the video I'm recording. There's just going to be a moment of silence here. Objectively, what I'm trying to do is have some counterplay here and get my own pass pawn, and playing for the draw here, which is the correct way to play. Uh, anyway, I shall return, as MacArthur said, General, the great General. I will be back. Okay, I am back. Now this is the only game I have left, so uh, take with the pawn. That way it's one step closer to coronation. Okay, and it's an outside pass pawn. For what it's worth. Do I want to trade queens here? Maybe. Tie his knight down, activate my king. I mean, by trading queens, queen c5 check, queen d4, it's a possibility. Uh, whoever gets a centralized queen will be better. My knight is bad, but it's also playing a defensive role, which white needs because he's down a pawn. Strategically, black probably has a winning ending. The question is, can he win it? And my king is close to the e4 pawn, so going into a knight and pawn ending isn't that bad. I may end up winning it and then use my h pawn to keep his knight occupied. So I've got an outside pass pawn. Uh, my pawn theoretically is a little better than his unless he can combine some threats. I need to get my queen redeployed. D4 is a nice central square, but I pretty much felt I had to take the passed pawn. Okay, so anyway, we'll just see how it goes. We're basically almost playing a tournament type control now because this is the only game left. We've played 36 moves. We both have 25 minutes left. It's now similar to an over the board game, and the objective White's trying to do is just hold the draw, and White's not thinking of playing for a win. Black needs to try to think how to play for a win. How does he play for a win? Well, one way is to try to activate the queen and a knight and generate some kind of mating threats. The other way is to try to get his passed pawns going. But then again, I get my pawns going. So that h4 pawn it's threatening to just run right up the board. And I can get it, if I leave my queen on h8, I can get it as far as h7 without any problem. It gets to h7, it's getting ready to queen. I just have to make sure that he doesn't coordinate some kind of a mating threat, or generate something with that passed e pawn. I have to keep an eye on it. It can be a bit of a nuisance if I'm not careful. There, he advanced it. Okay, so if I push my pawn to h5, that gives him the g5 square. So what I really need is a centralized queen here. That's my feeling. If I put my queen on d4, it's centralized. I'm securing the h pawn. I'm tying his knight down to guarding it. If he's not careful, I'll keep him tied down, and maybe my king can become a fighting piece, come over and assist, and then maybe I can get my knight active. So there's no rush shoving the h pawn. I think that's just going to give him play. Let's see, but it could work. h5, queen g5 check, king f1, knight d2 check, king e3. Now, where can he go next? Or king e2. Okay, now I'm on his pawn, but he's guarding it. It could be some tactic that he wins my knight. Let's see. But queen d4 just it seems appealing. The thing about it is, let's see. He could play queen b1, daring me to take his knight because he takes my knight with check, and suddenly that pawn is very deadly. And I'd have to go for perpetual threats over here. Let's see. Queen d4, queen b1, queen takes, king up, push the pawn, queen checks. Now king b7, queen e4 check. Eventually gets c6 in, queen checks. King back up here, queen checks. He's got to try to walk his king out. It gets complex, to say the least. Queen, but then on queen d4 check, what I have to watch out too for is not queen b1, but queen f2. I mean queen b2 with the idea of checking on f2. So let's see. If queen d4, queen b2, queen takes knight, queen f2 check, king must go to h1, queen takes e1 check, king goes up, we're back to that again. So he's got a couple ways to do it that I can't really stop. So if I push h5 right away, queen b1 or b2 with the same motive of winning the piece. And h6, let him have the piece. Queen checks, king there, queen checks, king up, e2. And I push the pawn again. His knight is getting tricky. His pawn's more advanced. I have to keep an eye on that pawn and go for perpetual check. Queen d4, he could always play e2 also, but that gives me access to f2 with my king. So let's see. Yeah, I'm convinced I have to play queen d4. It just makes sense. It's a centralizing move, and there are perpetual check possibilities. So if he wins, he wins. Just give him a chance to win it. That's the whole thing of a simul. The master doesn't play as well as he normally would. You get in the game, and then you get practice playing an ending. Okay, so queen b2 is an interesting move, to say the least. On queen b1, I might be able to play king f1. So queen b2 is an interesting move on his part. And I'm still holding on to the pawn on h4. The only thing is now it's not going to be running up the board in a hurry. But if I get a queen exchange, the h pawn is fine where it is, because just the threat of it advancing will tie his knight down, and that gives me time to centralize my king and surround and win that e pawn. In which case it's probably a draw, but with the h pawn, suddenly maybe white can have some winning chances. Get the king in action to support it. Anything can happen. Sometimes the rook pawn will beat the knight. If it's far enough advanced, the knight can't block it. But it's the last game. I don't know how many games I played. I think I played 6 or 7. And one game I timed out in. That's unfortunate. But it never came up on when I'm clicking the games. It was on that pop-up window. And I tried to play a move in it. And I guess I was too late. But anyway, sorry you didn't get a game. I want to play everybody, but if I play too many, I start losing them all on time. The alternative is not to make a video. And the last video, if I tried for the other one, was just no point in posting it because every game I was losing on time. And then I butchered it anyway, and I just shut it off. I realized it wasn't going to be a good video. Okay, so what can he try here? He could try c5, advancing his pawns. Then I can play queen d3. Keeping a pin on his knight, keeping an eye on his e pawn. It's an interesting position, to say the least. So when there's any conversation, you can't see the rest of the screen. I'm only making the video capture of it. So anyway, let's see. I'm just reading the comments here. Anyway, close this window. There's nothing. Oh, wrong window. Okay, close that one, and I come back to Zola. Okay, so he was the smartest player this simul because he took his time. He took his time working through this, and I overlooked when I took on a5. I overlooked bishop c5. He had an interesting move: rook takes d5. But anyway, just down to this game, and okay, he did play queen b1, so I have to go for it. I have to go for the attempt at a perpetual check. The alternative is king f1 here. Let's see, king f1. Oh no, he plays knight. Well, let's see, king f1, knight checks, king e2. So the whole question is candidate moves. It's king f1 or queen takes c4. And if I take on c4, I'm forced to try for perpetual because he gets just too far advanced. I think queen b2 was interesting too, because then he's threatening to check on f2 and pick up the knight, making me take his knight. Now I have the option to play king f1. So let's see, queen takes c4, queen takes e1 check. My king goes up to h2. Oh no, I have to go to g2 because otherwise he takes on h4 with check, and that's deadly. So queen takes c4, queen takes e1 check, king g2. He might even take on h4 anyway, but then I start checking. But gets complicated. Sometimes when you're analyzing lines, you try to take away lines that give your opponents lots of choices, because the more possibilities you give your opponent, the more chances you're going to get into a variation where you miss something. And king f1 seems to be the better and safer move, although not necessarily. King f1, he can then play queen b2, and then he's threatening to mate on f2. So king f1 just allows queen b2. Very interesting. How do I deal with that? Knight d3 covers f2. Let's see. King f1, queen b2, knight d3, attacks his queen. Where does he put his queen? Let's see. He wants to talk to me? Okay, I'll accept. Okay. King f1. Trying to distract me. Queen f2. King f1. Queen b2. Knight d3 covers the mate. So, and I'm covering the queening square with my knight. So his knight's now loose. And his queen's under attack. He can give a check. But then my king gets to e2. And he gets a check on d3. I'm sorry, on d2. My king goes to f3. Wants to know how many games I'm playing. I'll just tell him. Just you. Okay. So let's see. I don't know. And king f1, queen f5 check. King e2. Queen f2 check. Ouch. King d1. E2 check. Yeah, it gets crazy. King f1 is just allows him too many. Here I was thinking King f1 allowed him less possibilities. It allows him more. King f1, Queen f5 check. King e2. Queen f2 check. Okay, so dang. Very complex. What to do, what to do, what to do. Don't know what to do. Stand up and walk around. There's so much going on here. Clear my head. I've got time on the clock. Got time on the clock, as I was saying. Queen b1. He's threatening. Queen. If King f1 and Queen takes c4, I just can't make up my mind. I don't know. It's just one of those positions where you don't know what to do. And he's got so many possibilities in either case. I don't know. Let's see. If I play King f1, what was I saying? I'm not worried about knight b2 check. Or knight d2 check. Okay, Queen b2. Now knight d3 covers f2, but he has knight d2 check. Now if I go King e1, knight f3 wins my queen. So I have to step into a discovery, which wins the queen. So King f1 is a mistake. It loses to King f1 is a mistake. Because Queen b2 follow up. King f1, Queen b2 threatens mate. Now I can guard it a different way. I can guard the mate with Queen f2, or I'm sorry, Queen f4. Knight checks on. Well, if anything, he just grabs my pawn on c3 and holds everything. Now I got to take his knight and just see what he has. King f1 is a mistake. So basically, he shows me what he's got. I try for perpetual. Let's see. I come up with a king so he doesn't take on h4 with check. Okay, so anyway. And just tell them I'm making video the entire simul. Okay, so basically, he can take on H4 if he wants it. No, he can't take on H4. I'm protecting it. What am I thinking? But basically, I had to go into this line. It's just a question of can I get a perpetual check out of this or not? So let's see. Video is now 2 hours and 7 minutes long. I don't know why it gives you these pop-up windows. And I feel sorry for the guy who wanted to play. He tried to rematch. I would have taken it, but he had rematches him white, and that's not the way it works. Okay, so if left to my own devices, I'll activate my king and chase his king. Depends on how much he checks me. I can't stop him from checking me. The only question is, can he stop me from checking him? I prefer to be the one checking in a situation like that, but you can't always get what you want. Okay, so let's see. Okay, anyway, he can get his pawn to the 7th rank, and I have to try for perpetual. That's all I can try for. Um, but at first, King F1 seemed to be the right move, and it turned out it wasn't. It just wasn't. His 36 move E3 was the correct move. It just advanced the pawn. Anything else was. Am I playing for a draw? That's about all I can get at this point. Of course, I'm playing for a draw. But there's some people who will play this position for a win with white. Ideally, you'd like to, but you can't always win. Oh, look, I'm threatening on C7 too. I'm just basically looking at Queen A4 check. Is Queen C7 get anywhere? I don't know. Does it? Queen checks. King must come up to A6. Queen back to C4 check. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I get somewhere with Queen takes C7. As far as when did I last study Queen and Pawn endings? It's good to study this. I have the Overbox series on Queen and Pawn endings. It's the best ending book on Queen and Pawns. There's an 8-volume set. Can't consult it now. We're playing a game. If you're playing postal chess, yeah, you use that stuff. Or if you have an adjourned game, that's how they did it in the old days. Back when Bobby Fischer was playing, you played 40 moves, 5 hours, adjourned. You went to bed and you had a team of seconds. They called them seconds. You're first, they're second, right? But you had a team, a whole bunch of people. They'd sit and look at the game all night for you. And you'd wake up the next morning refreshed, and they'd say, "Okay, Bobby Fischer, we show you how to win this position." And that was how they did it in the old days. Adjourned games. And, if you're playing correspondence chess by postcard, of course you can look up endgame books. There's some question. Okay, he checked. Okay, he moves. So now let's see. He can check all he wants. I can't stop him. So the only logical thing is to advance my king, especially get it to a square where he can't queen with check, but try to get my king closer to his king, just to restrict it if his king comes out in the open. So king f2 is kind of forced. And as I say, he can check all he wants, and the game's a draw. Because the only way to break a draw is to stop the 50 move rule and make a capture or a pawn move. So he can check for 50 moves and it's a draw, or he can let me check for 50 moves and it's a draw. Okay, so now if I play e4 with the king, it's true he's more active, but no, I can't play to e4. He just takes on h4 with check. I have to play king to g4. Okay, it's only move, king g4. See, I don't see everything right up front. That's why I'm prone to make one move mistakes. But give me some time and I'll find the best move. So there's only two legal moves. One drops the h4 pawn with check and game over. Oh, he wants to keep checking me. Okay, where do I want my king? Well, I want it in the heart of his position. If I can get it there, because it'll assist me in giving a perpetual. Because, like I say, he can check me all day, and the game will end in a draw. I just have to make sure I don't check him in some square where I don't walk into some square where things get tricky. So let's see, king f5. If he checks on f7 or f2 again, I can put my king on e6. That certainly restricts his king's ability to get out in the open. He tries e2. Like I say, I start checking. I can take on c7. Let's just look at the queen check on a4, king b8, queen e8 check, king b7, and what I've done is I've shut off my own king, or my own queen, from checking. So I can't get the king too close. Of course, I could always take on c7. Let's see, king takes c7, queen takes c7, king a6, queen c4 check, king a5, queen b4 check. That does it. King back to a6, queen c4 check. Now he has king b7, and I must check on d5. Now I can go to c8, but that just allows me to check on c6. He goes back to b8. Queen e8 check. I think I get a draw there. Okay, so advance the king. There might be some mating threats in there. Just don't advance it too far. Got to be careful. I've got 11 minutes left. Okay, king c4. So we're trying. eventually he has to stop checking, and I get to start checking. Of course, the only way you're going to learn this ending is actually play it out. Okay, now, as I said, my king going to e6 may be a problem, but only if I check on that way. King e6, e2, queen takes c7. Oh no, I was working on this. I have to take on c7. So this just lets my king get closer. King e6. And where's his next check? He's run out of checks. He has to play e2. Now I take on c7 with check. If he goes to a8, that's a draw, so he has to go to a6. Now I check on c4, and king a5 gets him checkmated. It's kind of humorous. So he comes back to b7. I check on d5. And I think I can hold this to the draw. He's got to be careful now that my king's getting active. So let's see what he's got. Got to activate the king. The king is a fighting piece. That's an old expression. But I'm not offering a draw. We play it out. There's no point in offering a draw. He gets. And he was nice and gave me a draw. And gave me a draw. Okay, so I think I get repetition. So clearly I have to go this way. Check. Queen takes c7, check. He must go up. Okay, so now if he goes up again, no, he doesn't get mated. But it just repeats. What am I thinking of? Somehow, if the pawn on c3 is on b3, I'm just looking at this wrong. It doesn't get mated. Okay, queen c4 check. If he plays king a5, I just go back to b4 check and repeat. So he's got to go to b7 at some point. Well, he didn't. Check. I guess we're gonna he's gonna allow me to get a draw. Okay, so your offer. Okay, game over. Okay, I want to thank everybody who watched this Simul Live and everybody that watched this video. Interesting. I'm sorry that I didn't get to play more of you. It's a little overwhelming, these things, and I'm also trying to make an instructional value out of them by making a video. I don't have to make a video. It probably costs me points, but I don't care about points. I want to give you guys a position to play me and play a good player. That's what I'm trying to do, and then you can analyze this and learn more. I have the best program for free instruction. It's all in my videos. Play me in these simuls. I'll blunder, you'll win. at least to get a winning position to learn how to do it. Take it home and analyze it. You're going to get much better at chess. Be a part of this video lessons group. We're going places. This is history in the making. Nobody's ever explained it as simple as how to improve. It's all in video lesson 1. Watch it. It explains what to do. And we have all the resources here in the video lessons group to help you. I got staff coaches to analyze your games. I'll step in and do what I can. Right now I'm doing members best games, but I have to cut it down so I can do more of these simuls. We've got turn-based correspondence games where you can sit and analyze. Plenty of questions. Ask me a question about the lessons. I'll answer it. All in our forums. No coach at this site can match what I offer, the interaction I offer for the players. And this is all free. If you want private instruction, I do charge, but that's up to you. Okay? Anyway, thanks so much for your time. We'll look forward to all this soon. Okay.